What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a live episode of the Ango Show. I, of course, am joined by Billy TKO on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
At this point, he's a familiar face. And, yesterday we didn't talk about WWE Raw. There's a lot of stuff to discuss.
Absolutely.
Figured why not try something a little bit different, do something during the day, couple different topics. We're not going to break down Raw segment by segment, but we'll talk about some of the good, some of the bad, plus some other interesting topics that we've put to the side to discuss. Billy TKO, my friend, my boy, how you doing today?
My man Ango, how are you doing? I feel good today.
You feel good? Why?
I don't know, man. I just kind of woke up. I'm like, oh, man, everything feels all right today. You ever just have one of those good days?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Every day I'm alive, baby. I feel good. So
that's right. That's right.
Guys, we're doing something a little bit different as well. Today, we are doing a simulcast. So we are live as well on Billy's channel. So depending on the feed that you're watching from, whether you're my audience or maybe you're on Billy's channel, just keep in mind, if you guys want to support the channel, you could also support Billy's channel too by dropping a super chat on Billy's feed. But by doing so, you have an opportunity to help us grow the channels and do all that good stuff. So appreciate y'all coming through on this Tuesday afternoon.
Y'all are sick.
Yeah, this is amazing. Happy to be here. Listen, I just want to get straight to the point, Billy. The title of this live stream, and we'll talk about CM Punk, we'll talk about Drew McIntyre and Cody and Shinsuke and everything like that.
Right.
But Cody Rhodes, The Rock, Roman Reigns, obviously a big topic.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
We've talked about this a little bit before, but I feel like we should talk a little bit in depth.
All right, bring it on.
I think Cody Rhodes finishes the story.
So do I.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying Cody Rhodes will not finish the story because of The Rock returning.
You know, that's been a topic over on my channel as well. It's been a topic of discussion.
It kills me, brother.
It hurts, doesn't it?
I watched Raw last night.
Okay.
And I see Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specific moment where Shinsuke Nakamura does the poison mist on the timekeeper.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people may not know this, but Cody Rhodes is actually related to the person that's a timekeeper in WWE. That is his cousin.
That was such a nice little tidbit.
And so Shinsuke Nakamura throws the mist into his face. He right into the face. He does the mist. Shinsuke Nakamura looking great. Cody Rhodes, being the ultimate babyface, goes on to check on his cousin, who is the timekeeper. Very ultra babyface moment, right?
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke get back into the ring. Shinsuke is going for the attack. Cody Rhodes throws him into the table. You know, he hits the crossroads.
Yep.
And he gets the win. He beats Shinsuke Nakamura. If Cody Rhodes is not finishing the story, then why in the hell would Cody Rhodes at this point keep winning? He goes through all this adversity.
Yeah.
Why the hell would he lose to Shinsuke Nakamura?
That's what I've been questioning this whole time, is a lot of people were like, you know, and I really did like the story that they were telling with Shinsuke. I was a big fan of it. Shinsuke's vignettes and stuff like that, I need more of that. Going on, I need more of that. Let's not stop here. Let's keep that going. But that was just a stepping stone in Cody's story. I hate to break it to the people who want to see Cody fail. You don't want to see Cody win. Too bad. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I believe that it is now Cody's time. Whether Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is here present, right? In the WWE, it does not matter. I think the person who we have booking the show changes everything when it comes to this. Vince McMahon would have booked it. Roman, Rock, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Triple H knows we're going global. And one thing that I mentioned the other day was that Australia wants The Rock. Keep that in mind. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've had that conversation about,
Yes.
Australia wants The Rock, and obviously, it makes sense, right? It's going to be the biggest match of all time, and the fact that it doesn't happen at a WrestleMania, I think a lot of people are going to argue about this, and I'm willing to argue about this if you don't agree with me, Billy, because I
Okay.
stand firm on it. The Rock and Roman needs to happen at Elimination Chamber, and I think Cody Rhodes going to WrestleMania and beating Roman Reigns after Roman just beat The Rock. I think to me that is massive. I think that is a
Yeah, it's
significant win. It's not
yeah.
even just finishing the story and winning the belt, but it's like, dude, I'd literally just beat arguably the greatest of all time.
Yeah, no, this is something that we actually will stand and agree on because it's something that I've talked about. Yes, if Rock loses to Roman, wouldn't we agree and wouldn't we think that Cody beating Roman at WrestleMania would be the biggest WrestleMania of all time? Right? It's
Mhm.
simple. It's simple math. Two of the greats, boom, collide. Now, new great, right? Roman Reigns, boom, loses to now who is the greatest in this time in Cody Rhodes.
So I'm gonna pick a comment.
Okay.
I would love for you to read this and then respond.
All right. This all could have been avoided if they did what's right at WrestleMania 39. And you, Ango, were a believer in for a long time that they could have gotten this right at WrestleMania 39. Would I be correct for saying that?
No,
No?
no, I
Explain
said
to me why.
Cody should have never finished the story at WrestleMania 39.
Okay. All right. So here's where we disagree because I do agree with this that this all could have been avoided if they would have just gotten it right. Because
Interesting, Billy. I can't wait for you to tell me. The floor is yours, my friend. Please explain.
why, why did we have to go through all this to get the same outcome? Why do we need Roman and Cody too? And I understand now, looking back, it is a cool story, right? Cody is going on and he's going through the hardships that his dad went through,
Uh-huh.
right?
Mhm.
Cody looks like, yeah, the ultimate baby face.
Mhm.
I I genuinely feel like we could have gotten this a little bit sooner. I don't think that Roman carrying those belts were mandatory for this long. I don't.
You don't
Pl-
think so?
No, explain to me why they are because I want to hear your side of this.
Sure. It's
Yeah.
actually a very easy argument to make.
Okay.
Business.
Okay. Explain why it's business.
Look how hot the WWE product is.
It's very hot.
That was all catapulted because of the Roman Reigns. So this is where WWE is going to get a lot of credit from Ango. The Bloodline storyline happened under the Vince McMahon era.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. And it happened, COVID and all this shit happens.
It was a very different time.
I don't know how WWE got so lucky, Billy, but I'm going to tell you like this. Roman and the Bloodline storyline became so big. Cody goes into WrestleMania as a very big baby face.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the job done. Now, the thing is, Cody comes into WWE. He beats Seth Rollins in all these matches. Cody's invincible. Super Cena 2.0 right in front of our eyes. But when it mattered most, he didn't get the job done.
Yeah.
Now, since then, Roman Reigns has been part-time. I don't even think it's fair to call him part-time. He's like seasonal employee. He just shows up. He just shows up once every holiday, right?
Yeah.
But in the meantime, what WWE has done is completely transcended their business by building other stars and other baby faces and
Which
other credible stories and feuds. So hold on.
go ahead. Yeah.
You ask me why I disagree with you. Cody goes into WrestleMania 39 as this guy who I think it's fair to say if he won it, it would have not been a big deal, whatever. But WWE needed to keep the business hot after WrestleMania 39. And what they've done is keep it extremely hot post WrestleMania 39. But how they've done it is by making sure people realize in real time that Roman Reigns is the final boss. It's not just an internet slang anymore. They made sure on television he is the final boss. There was all of this adversity. Cody, who was so close to doing it and did everything possible to get there, couldn't get it done. Now Cody faces adversity and gets through the adversity. It is great storytelling for one. And also, it kept the business hot at a time where the big question mark is what happens to WWE once the Bloodline storyline is done? Because the Bloodline storyline is what brought fans in to the arena. The Bloodline storyline is what, I mean, let's give credit to where it's due. Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, all of these guys who went up against the Bloodline, Randy Orton's, Matt Riddle too, like there was a lot of guys who were getting their chance at Roman, and this was putting asses in seats.
Yeah.
They made Roman Reigns the final boss. And Cody coming in that fast to take down the final boss does not make sense. That's not how it works. WWE, we joke about the cinema thing,
Yeah.
but it really is cinema when you think about it. And there's actually a far greater business impact by Cody waiting a year. And this is why I'm super firm that last year I said he doesn't need to win at WrestleMania 39, but he has to win at WrestleMania 40. And I stand very firm that if Cody does not walk out of WrestleMania 40, I don't care who it's against at this point, but if he does not walk out of WrestleMania 40 as the WWE champion, WWE has completely shot themselves in the foot.
Now, I will say with WrestleMania 39, to some degree I agree, right? Because I do believe that you've built up the final boss. It's a really cool story. I don't care what nobody says. This comment right here, this all could have been avoided if they did what's right at WrestleMania 39. I don't believe, my disagreement to this is that I do not believe that WWE, like you said's product would have been on fire the way that it is if this were the case. Like you said, new stars, everything along those lines, those things are nice. They're nice to have. They're nice to see, right? It makes wrestling enjoyable. Now, do we believe that the outcome, whether it be Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns, right, at that time, do we believe that the outcome shifts the way that WWE's current phase was going to be going into anyways, right? With the new stars and stuff like that. Like if Cody would have won then, would it have killed the momentum?
I don't know. I would say if it would kill the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you really have to look at the last 9 months of programming, 8 months, 6 months of programming to really get an idea. And I don't think it would have killed the momentum, but I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would be as hot.
Yeah,
There's a reason why Cody Rhodes right now is even bigger than he was at WrestleMania 39.
he is much bigger now. I remember going to SummerSlam back in August and just that pop. It was one of the most crazy pops I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It really was.
He's far more popular now than he was at WrestleMania 39, which is already significant because he was extremely popular. But
Right.
Cody Rhodes has cemented himself as the John Cena of WWE. And that's why, and I get the whole sentiment of, oh, it all could have been avoided. That's obviously more so because of the regards to The Rock coming back and stuff. But I do trust that Triple H knows Cody's finishing the story.
Yeah.
And I think if Triple H and Nick Khan and this version of WWE does not have Cody Rhodes walk out of WrestleMania 40 with the belt, I can tell you off the rip that it will be the biggest blunder in company history. Because they didn't do it at WrestleMania 39. We already know wrestling fans are impatient. We know this. We know this.
Because it became like a thing to where you were so used to quick storylines and payoffs in a month.
For sure. Now they're doing the long burn storyline, and this has literally been a year in the making with Cody.
Yeah.
You can't do anything other than Cody winning the story. I don't care. I seen a lot of great theories out there of, the Hulk Hogan's title reign, this and that. Well, unfortunately, my friends, I don't really give a shit about Hulk Hogan's title reign.
That's what I said.
Two, I think the most important thing that we got to remember here is that Cody Rhodes, the way he's been presented in the last year has been about the story. It's been about him beating Roman Reigns. They've made this in the last year and a half.
The argument that people have been making is that it's not that. Everybody's like, oh, it's the title.
It's
not
both.
Because I agree. It's both.
Yeah.
Because the second this became about him and Roman was the second that they met on that ramp.
100%.
That's when I knew that it had everything to do with Roman now.
Yeah.
It was the second on that SmackDown where they met on that ramp.
100%.
I said, okay, here we go. This is it. This is the ride that we're about to take.
100%. This is not us, by the way, speculating on what we think the story
No.
is. This is literally what has happened on TV. This is literally when Cody Rhodes does backstage interviews and when he's meeting with other talent or commentary says, Cody, go on, finish the story. When they do this type of stuff, it's because they're reminding you of what the story is without Cody directly being next to Roman Reigns or dealing with Roman Reigns. And so the thing is, I think there's two things that are 100% certain for WrestleMania 40. I truly believe Triple H will not change his mind. And if Triple H does change his mind, shame on him, because there is no way possible. There's not one individual here that could convince me otherwise. Cody's finishing the story, and Jimmy and Jey Uso's taking place in a singles match at WrestleMania 40. And this is WWE laying the bloodline stuff to rest and starting a new chapter. And Billy, we've had conversations of who could potentially be next for Cody, right? We talked about this on our previous stream. And this, my friend, is why I was trying to explain to you WrestleMania 39. See how everything panned out in the last year? It wouldn't have worked in Cody's favor to be champion after WrestleMania 39. But now you have a healthy Randy Orton. You have a Drew McIntyre who's actually done a slow burn storyline to turn heel. Oh, CM Punk is back in the company. Now there's money feuds written all over it that doesn't require Roman Reigns. And I think that is why this is the perfect time. You fucking do it. Who gives a shit about Hulk Hogan's title reign?
That's what I've been saying. Who cares about his title reign? I said that in the other stream maybe a week ago. I said the title, the whole reign thing, it's fake. Get it out of your head. It doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you, Triple H does not care about Hulk Hogan's title reign.
I mean, I'll say this too. Like, look, let's just call it what it is. Roman Reigns' reign is very good in terms of the duration, but it's not like Roman Reigns has been wrestling every single week. And let me just be clear, him not wrestling every single week actually makes him the final boss. Like, I get it. It would be nice to have a fighting champion. Shout out to Seth Rollins. That's what we got with Seth, and I appreciate that. But Roman Reigns is the final boss, and he is the guy that, in my opinion, he is the special attraction. He is the attraction. So when you have a massive baby face take out the biggest villain, the final boss, it makes for greater television. It makes for a greater moment. And I just imagine, and I really need to say this too, because WWE is about their moments. At the end of the day, when I'm 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, I'm not going to remember Roman Reigns, all of those great matches he had in the span of 3.5 years or whatever it's been. He's had some good matches. But you know what I will remember, Billy?
What's that?
I'm going to remember Michael Cole taking us off the air at WrestleMania 40. Oh, my God, Cody, you did it. He finished the story. Oh, my God. And then, on Twitter, it's going to go viral when Michael Cole, they're showing the feed of him going crazy.
And him standing there on a cell phone. They're recording it on a cell phone.
I don't think people understand. That was pretty extra, but I don't think people understand how significant that call will be. And that's the moment. And so 20 years from now, I'm going to remember Roman Reigns had a very long reign.
Yeah.
But I'm going to remember the moment that Cody Rhodes ended the story. So personally speaking, I would never change a thing about it. I've predicted this last year. My prediction has come to 100% accuracy. Honestly, the only difference is The Rock. And I think with The Rock, Rock should lose to Roman, and Rock should just go away. He's great. I love The Rock. I love when he comes back. I love the pop. I love when he gets on the mic and stuff like that. But people forget that this Rock and Roman rumor every year for like 5 years, 6 years now.
It's been going on since he won the title.
And every year, it's always been to the point where it's like The Rock is coming back. Oh, by the way, talks fell out because of Hollywood or an injury or whatever it was, So this time around, it's like we don't need The Rock. And let The Rock lose to Roman. Let Cody beat Roman Reigns. And then start building some new stories.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the best. I think this year we should all, right, as a collective, be able to agree that Cody needs to finish this story. It's time to move on. It's fair. I believe as a collective. But there's another topic I really want to touch on, Ango.
Okay, before you do that, I just want to give a shout out because obviously we've been cooking.
Man.
Shout out to Miles Jubert Roberson, member for 7 months. What up, Ango and Billy? I'm with you both. Cody getting it done and Punk.
That's the next topic I want to talk about.
Shout out to Miles for the membership extension. I appreciate that. Billy TKO, hit me with your question.
Ango, last night we got Drew McIntyre and we got CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of heads turned as soon as CM Punk's music hit, coming out to Drew McIntyre, and people didn't realize Drew McIntyre has been mentioning CM Punk a lot, so that's why he did it.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get your thoughts on CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and what you possibly believe is going down here, because I want to say real fast before I hand it off, what they did there last night, one of the best promos I've seen in a very long time. Go ahead, take the wheel.
I do agree with that, actually. I'll tell you off the rip, Drew McIntyre is not necessarily known for his talking. And, one of the things, us talking about this now versus what we talk about with those NXT promos backstage, how sometimes they're forced and like cringy sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though they're telling good stories on NXT, that's an issue that we see, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we see it on AEW and Raw and SmackDown and stuff like that. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk was a very authentic, organic interaction. And it felt like Drew McIntyre was really speaking from the heart. Yeah. And it seemed like CM Punk was really speaking from the heart. And I love the fact that we're really starting to see Drew McIntyre become probably the greatest version of himself. And we've seen, the Scottish Warrior, Scottish Psychopath, we've seen this stuff. We saw him in NXT. I saw him in TNA as Drew Galloway.
Yep.
I seen him when he was riding around with Shane McMahon on television. And I see this heel turn. And it's almost like we talk about it so many times, but it's the most logical heel turn. But it's almost like I don't necessarily want to boo Drew McIntyre. I kind of sympathize with him. And I think Drew and CM Punk's promo was fantastic for a variety of reasons, but it wasn't done for no reason. And I don't know how they do this. And I'm going to be so honest. And this is the part that hurts me, Billy. Mm-hmm. This is one of those scenarios where I'm truly uncertain what happens with Drew. Yep. Because and I get it, the dirt sheets haven't really been that great with the reporting of Drew McIntyre, but he hasn't technically re-signed. We don't know the situation. There's been a lot of dirt sheets saying that Drew McIntyre has had problems with WWE, and then it's also come out that that's not the case at all. Drew McIntyre is kind of teasing taking a break from TV. I don't know what his future is with WWE, but this wasn't done for no reason. And I would love nothing more. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is probably the craziest prediction I'll make. And it's something that kind of comes to my mind regularly. And I would love to hear what you think. We've talked about the idea of CM Punk winning at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins and then maybe cash in at WrestleMania or the night after WrestleMania.
Right.
After watching yesterday's promo, I would love nothing more than CM Punk to get his WrestleMania main event.
Yep.
And I would love nothing more than for him to get Claymore kicked at the end. And Damian Priest cashes in.
So, I like where you're going with this. And you know this. Very big CM Punk fan.
Of course.
You know that. One thing that I want to mention about this is after seeing last night, my thoughts kind of change on the direction of where they may go to get to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So for a while, it was my thought process that, maybe CM Punk was going to win the Rumble. He would just kind of he would waltz his way into WrestleMania. That was like my idea, right?
Yeah.
And I just kind of figured that to get Cody Rhodes to Roman Reigns would be for him to just number one contendership, Elimination Chamber. That was my idea.
Yeah.
It's weird to say, but it's kind of flip-flopped. And when I say that, I'm talking about, I believe that we're still, like you said, going to get CM Punk and Seth. That's obviously something that must happen,
Yeah.
right? But when I think of Drew McIntyre, I think of a desperate man. Would you agree?
Sure.
And what do desperate people do? They do desperate things.
Yeah.
This is a last resort thing. So, what if, I mean, it's a very easy story to tell right now, and maybe it's a long shot.
Mhm.
But what if, right, CM Punk does eliminate Drew in the Royal Rumble? But in that same degree and in that same sentence, CM Punk gets eliminated in the Royal Rumble. Hear me out. Let me talk. Let me go.
Cook.
So Cody ends up winning the Rumble. So Cody, remember, he won last night. Cody won.
Yeah.
And it seems like Cody's just on this victory high. So why not continue it going? Let him, if we're gonna do it, let's do it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2-time Royal Rumble winner. The man of the hour is Cody Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? So what if Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble? And again, when I speak about Drew, I think of a desperate man. So with a desperate man, right? What does it call for? He starts attacking Punk on the build to the Elimination Chamber. He wants Seth just as bad. He still wants that title because remember, the title is the main part for Drew. It's what he needs. He needs that moment. He fiends for that moment. So you want to really flip the script with Drew turning heel? Punk beats him at the Elimination Chamber in a number 1 contendership match.
No.
Okay, explain.
No. You were cooking, but then you fell apart.
No, hey.
I'm just saying, bro. Listen, it doesn't have to be convoluted. It's as simple as this. Ready?
Yeah.
This is how you book Royal Rumble. This is how you book Elimination Chamber. This is how you book WrestleMania. Okay?
Okay.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. All right. So this is what you do.
Okay.
This is how simple it is. Okay? We get the promo between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. They planted the seed, right?
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre constantly comes up short, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to this point at Royal Rumble. Cody, you're going to have a couple, maybe final 6. You might even have an NXT star showcasing maybe Braun Breaker or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But obviously Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, they're probably going to be in your finals.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre, in my opinion, will get eliminated. It doesn't really matter. CM Punk, Cody, maybe Gunther or whatever. Cody Rhodes does not win the Royal Rumble. CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. So CM Punk is going to be the one that eliminates Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Okay.
They planted the seed on Raw.
Right.
CM Punk eliminates Drew McIntyre. He gets pissed because every single time Drew McIntyre falls short, now he's falling short again.
Yeah.
CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. Cody Rhodes is in the chamber match. Going to be some big guys in there. That's the biggest adversity that he has seen in this entire storyline, and he'll win. He'll punch his ticket to WrestleMania Night 2 against Roman Reigns and finish the story. However, for Night 1, because CM Punk literally won the Royal Rumble, he goes on Raw the next day and calls out Seth Rollins. He says, I'm finishing my story, yada, yada, yada. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at WrestleMania Night 1 main event. Now, Drew McIntyre, we don't know his contract situation. Maybe he wants to take some time off, whatever it may be. I think we get to that point. Night 1, Drew McIntyre as CM Punk beats Seth Rollins, finally gets his moment. Drew McIntyre finally cements the greatest heel turn of all time. And he attacks him, hits him with the Claymore kick, whatever it may be. And then you can either do a cash-in with Damian Priest to end WrestleMania. It doesn't matter. WrestleMania Night 1, you don't have to have the babyface win, and it's all fine and dandy because WrestleMania Night 2, Cody Rhodes will make up for it when he finishes the story.
Right.
Super easy. if you have Drew McIntyre take time off, you can lean into the story of him and his contract.
Mhm.
And whether he resigns or doesn't resign, he takes some time off until WrestleMania. It's a perfect time for other people on Raw to step up. Drew McIntyre could go visit his family. And then that ultimate shocking ending when CM Punk finally gets his moment and wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of WrestleMania. He got the win. Drew McIntyre takes it all away from him. It is not this extremely convoluted overbooking bullshit. They planted the seed. I think there is something super significant there. And the best part is you didn't have to waste the Royal Rumble win on Cody, because what you could do from Royal Rumble to Elimination Chamber is you have Cody Rhodes going into a feud with whoever eliminates him, which in my opinion, I think it would probably be Shinsuke Nakamura again. I hope that's not the case.
What?
I could see that happening. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I could see that happening because I don't know who else would be a credible opponent for Cody before the Chamber. But with that being said, this will make it really exciting to watch going into Elimination Chamber, because we
Yeah.
know Cody will go to night 2. We know this.
Yeah.
But how they book that, that's the question mark. I think everything else is solved, but it doesn't really matter because Cody's not going to impact the plans for Seth and Punk and Drew McIntyre. But Drew takes time off. WWE could play into the storyline of his contract. I would start leaking fake stories that he's out of the company, whatever it may be. Really lean into it and literally have Drew shatter CM Punk on the night 1 of WrestleMania. And I'm telling you right now, when it comes out that Drew resigns with the company, there is a lot of amazing storylines that they can tell with Drew McIntyre and potentially putting him back in the World Heavyweight Championship picture because of the fact that he was able to do what he did.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say this is true. I just don't like the ending. I don't like the idea of Damien's cash in. Although I love the idea of Damien winning, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of the cash in at the main event of WrestleMania. And the reason why I say that is this all feels like a certain WrestleMania, and I'm not going to say his name on here, but it reminds me of WrestleMania 20. If you remember that night,
Yeah.
you remember how that went down and how it ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of that, and kind of that feel good story. Both guys really came a long way. We had talked about it the other day on your stream where you talked about how it could happen on Monday Night Raw. And the more I sat and thought about it, the more I was like, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Just let these guys who have desperately climbed for these moments have that moment, right? It's
Yeah.
okay to let two baby faces win. And I
I,
don't
I,
even
are you saying when you're talking about the moment, though, are you talking about CM Punk?
CM Punk and Cody.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And this is where I have to disagree with you.
Okay.
Do you think, and this is just me making like an assumption, right? But do you think for CM Punk that he is going to ultimately be a babyface in WWE? Genuinely speaking, I'm making the assumption that we're getting the summer of Punk.
Yeah,
And
which I'm down for.
I don't think it's going to have to be this heel or babyface Punk, right?
So if we are going into the summer of Punk, then everything that I go and say just kind of gets washed out. Because if we're going to do heel Punk, you're right. You don't need the title for heel Punk.
So the thing is, Punk doesn't need the championship.
Okay.
And I genuinely don't believe CM Punk came back to WWE for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I don't think it's his main priority.
I don't think that was his priority at all. I mean, I think the guy was looking for a job, and the company nice as WWE was like, "Hey, this is best for business. We'll do it."
Right.
So the thing is, what I find fascinating about this is that you can have Drew McIntyre spoil CM Punk's moment, and inevitably you're creating a big storyline. It's what we were saying in the beginning of this stream, where it's like, well, what do you do when Roman drops the belt? You got to have big and hot fire storylines. My dog, I don't know if you noticed this, but Drew and CM Punk came across to me as a very massive storyline yesterday. And that's why I think we're both on the same page. They planted that seed for a reason. You need to start thinking and crafting storylines for WWE. It's a huge thing, man. It's a
Yeah.
huge thing. And obviously that's a big part of what WWE has to do is okay, well, what happens when the bloodline isn't necessarily the top of the thing anymore? You got to craft those big storylines. And for WrestleMania night one, yeah, it's, I always go back to Seth, man. Seth cashing in on Roman and Lesnar. That was a massive, beautiful, shocking moment.
It was.
And this one, it's like, oh wow. So CM Punk literally goes to AEW, says all this shit about WWE, and he gets rewarded with this moment. No, Drew's gonna take that away from him. Drew will take it away from him. Maybe Punk beats Rollins, but Drew ain't having none of that shit. So I'm just telling you, you play into it. Drew McIntyre takes time off, and that's how he returns to WWE. If WWE re-signs Drew McIntyre and that's what they do, my God, the place will go nuts. And
Yeah.
and I will throw this out there.
Go ahead.
I want to throw this out there, Billy, because I'm super curious as to what you think. There is something very strange happening with WWE, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre in the sense that these guys are losing the big ones. And I'm starting to think that might be by design. And I'm starting to think that maybe WWE could be gearing towards another faction. And so I'm just saying, I wouldn't be opposed to this idea of these guys who come up short, come together and lead a heel faction. Is it a little bit overbooking or fantasy booking La La Land type shit? Yes. But do I think they could actually be doing something like that? I do. I really do.
Yeah, because it looks sad. If you look at it, it looks like it's almost like when you take desperate, right?
Yeah.
And you feed it into your aura, right? You
Yeah.
become a certain person.
Yeah.
And WWE is playing on that with some of these guys. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? In really feeding. Like I look at not to kind of switch it up on you here,
Yeah.
right? Grayson, Logan, and Austin. I look at them and I think to myself, "Oh man, that's a really good faction that makes a lot of sense." Where when you think of factions that can work, right?
Yeah.
These guys all very poppy, look good, handsome gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
That's a faction that works. Desperate times coming up short. Karrion Cross is the one who kind of designed the idea of it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he cut that promo of I took away Drew's, what was it, pride or something?
Temperament. I took away this. I took away that.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, yeah, I believe that you can build that faction, especially with the idea of more factions coming along. They're
Yeah.
going to need more at some point, right? And you got to think who's booking the show, the man who ran one of the greatest factions of all time.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He loves them. So yeah, no, I definitely would agree that yes, you can play on some of this. These guys that are coming up short. Imagine Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura just like beating everybody.
And they would have to have at least a third member or two more members or
Yeah, I
something
don't
like
know
that. But
who you could throw in as a third member.
so this is an interesting theory. God, I know I'm gonna get so much shit for this, but this is where people are gonna say I'm fed pilled and Vince McMahon, inspires me or some bullshit. I know I'm gonna get heat for this. But yesterday, WWE had Jinder Mahal step up to Seth Rollins.
Yes.
And Jinder Mahal, former WWE champion. And look, this is what WWE is doing. It's very
This is
clear.
Ango's guy, if anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, Jinder's my dude. I love Jinder. I have extreme bias towards Jinder Mahal for personal reasons. I know. At least I admit it.
Yeah, at
But
least you're up front.
but Jinder Mahal steps face to face with Seth Rollins. Again, he holds his own on the mic. He's rocking the suit. He does come across like I take him seriously. I swear. I genuinely believe this. Like I do take him serious. The booking doesn't reflect that, but the way he's presented, at least I take him serious, right?
Yeah.
Jinder is going to lose next week to Seth Rollins in the heavyweight championship match.
Yeah.
This is going to be WWE doing another showcase match.
Yeah. Let me show you what this guy can do. And
Right?
aren't they playing back on the NXT?
They are.
Yeah.
So there's history there. Now I'm just saying, Shinsuke, Drew, Jinder Mahal. I would listen. I'm just saying this, like I said, people might be like, he's fed pilled and Vince McMahon. This is Vince McMahon type shit. But I'm just saying I wouldn't be opposed to this. It sounds a lot better than the 3-man band. So Jinder, Drew, and Shinsuke coming together. I mean, it's a diverse group, first and foremost, but I feel like they could do something cool, man. It's just an idea. It's a theory that I have. I could see them potentially going there. I think there's a very specific reason why these two gentlemen have lost. Jinder is going to lose. I think it could be a really nice thing if done right. Obviously, if done right.
Yeah.
But you know, Jinder versus Seth Rollins. If Jinder impresses people in this match and they have a banger, I think a lot of people will be like, you know what? Like, I could actually be for this because he's good on the mic.
Yeah,
And
Jinder's always been good on the mic. At least if you pay attention and watch, Jinder's always been good on the microphone, not being force-fed things.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's something that they come up with. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Please don't tell me.
I do like the idea, but I want to say that there is another person that I had in mind.
I would love to hear it because I cannot think of anybody else that makes sense to me logically.
Yeah, logically this makes absolutely no sense, but
Sure.
it's somebody that I really would love to see in this group.
Who?
It makes no sense. I'm
Okay,
just
that's
gonna
fine.
be upfront.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah, no, that would be fire too.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense because he's not a former champion.
Right, exactly.
And to be fair, Bronson Reed doesn't really come up short. Most
Right.
times he's the one giving the ass cooking.
But I think if you want to add
ass kicking.
I think if you want to add like power to the group, like I'm looking, I'm like, man, Bronson Reed would be a really cool name to add in here.
Dog, what if they just form a super group?
There's always that potential, dude.
Dog, it's so crazy because this is where I love AEW and this is where I love like Bullet Club and like New Japan and shit.
Yeah.
I love factions that are random as hell. I really do. I love random ass factions.
Yeah, you can always appreciate a random one.
And so the thing with Judgment Day, right? It's random as fuck.
It made no sense.
From what it was, it made no sense to what it evolved to. It made no sense, but these people make it work.
Yeah.
And they really come across as having true, genuine chemistry. And it's so amazing because obviously the bloodline, we're not stupid. You know, they're all brothers and cousins.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at Damage Control, it's a random group, but it works extremely well. And they've
absolutely,
you know, you bring in the Kabuki Warriors and you do all these different things. Like they all have a bond where the chemistry really comes across as a real thing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you look at Bullet Club Gold, Jay White and the Gun Club, right? Like
it made
awesome.
No sense.
It made no sense, but awesome pairing. And then you look at, you know, listen, like I'm gonna just shoot straight, man. Like the Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah, I feel like it's a little underwhelming, but the group does make sense, but it is kind of random when you throw Wardlow in there. But you throw somebody in there with who I think has credibility to a certain degree, it's fun. And I like random factions. And you can't even forget about Orlando Combat Club and NXT. You know, they're all together because they're just pure wrestlers.
Right.
But like it's a very, very interesting group that's put together. Or look at Meta-4 in NXT.
Meta-4 is
random
the
as
most
hell.
Random one that we have mentioned yet.
Yes, but I love it. I love these types of things.
And it works.
So I feel like it could be cool.
Things to work.
Like not every single one will work either, by the way. Let's make that clear.
But if you do book these things correctly, you can get them to work. Like you said, Bullet Club Gold, right?
It works.
It works. Dude, I love watching them on my TV screen.
You know, it's fun. I feel like that's a fun thing to look at. So I look at, you know, hey, maybe, dude, what if you do like a 4-man group of Jinder and Bronson Reed and Shinsuke and Drew McIntyre leading the group. And then, dude, you start building storylines with them and Judgment Day or, you know, whatever else it may be. I don't know. It's just random ideas that sometimes they don't sound as bad. Right. Now, I'm not saying this group is going to be taking out Seth Rollins or CM Punk at the end of WrestleMania Night 1. The story has to be Drew. But long term, I could see that being a really dope thing where they're like, hey, Drew, we're putting you in a faction. Yeah. And I will say this too. I speculated or like fantasy booked a scenario where Gallus gets called up to the main roster with Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
And it would make a lot of sense and it could fit, whatever. But when I look at like, hey, Shinsuke's been losing and Jinder's been losing and Drew McIntyre's been losing. And then, hey, we recruited Bronson Reed. First of all, Bronson Reed will benefit the most out of the group because he's going to be associated with the biggest and baddest, names. But I like that potential of having something there. And I see some people in the chat. I'm looking, some people are like saying, hey, maybe even Braun Breaker. And it's random as hell, but a guy who maybe isn't as over or is trying to, kind of just they're building talent up, right? They're not in a rush to build talent. They've done a great job with Bronson Reed. And the good thing is you can do these types of things with guys who aren't main event talent yet and eventually could be. So I see some people saying legacy or evolution-esque,
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those in the chat too, which is, I mean, that's kind of what I'm hinting at here, kind of like a legacy type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much potential. There's so much potential in the world of WWE. But you want to know who has the most potential?
Yeah, let's hear it.
R-Truth.
Potential, buddy.
R-Truth.
He doesn't have potential. He is everything. He is him, bro.
He is the man. Dude, did you see that last night?
Oh my God. The thing where he's okay. They do this whole thing for those who missed it on Raw. R-Truth has like this video package of him being with the Judgment Day forever. I'm guessing it's some like AI type of photo, but it's them as kids. And Finn Balor, the kid has a beard. And then they show R-Truth in the background as like a little kid, whatever. But the funniest thing was, what part was it? There was two parts that made me really freaking laugh. It was where they show the Judgment Day pay-per-view like poster for the pay-per-view cover or whatever. It's R-Truth on the cover. And then the best part was when he was what the fuck was it? Live, Laugh, Love.
My favorite part was Tom and Nick.
Oh my God. Tom and Nick.
He said, and I ain't never met Nick.
Oh
that's my brother.
Oh my God, guys. It's so funny. This guy, the thing is, it's so funny to me how this guy, this reminds me a little bit of Sami Zayn in the Bloodline.
Yeah, dude, very close.
But this is like R-Truth is just a whole different level because Sami Zayn is not a comedy character, in my opinion. Like I always took Sami Zayn a very serious professional wrestler, and he added the comedy and he would get us to crack and shit, But R-Truth is a guy who used to be the most serious wrestler back in the day. And obviously for the longest time, he became a comedic element. He had the comedy element to it. But now when I see him doing this video package and when I see him, bro, even today, the Judgment Day posted a picture at the airport where they're eating and R-Truth is in the background. It's like, I don't know what it is, but this guy, I swear, I'm not going to lie to you. It's, this world that we live in. You go on social media and it's all negativity and it's such bullshit. And the thing is, we cover wrestling and we talk about wrestling, and it's so easy to get pissed at things with wrestling that, and I understand that comedy isn't a big thing to a lot of wrestling fans, but when comedy is done right, it's fun. And this doesn't hurt anybody. And if anything, it adds a little bit more fun to the Judgment Day because you add JD McDonough and you see the big head memes, and then you see Dominic and Rhea, and like that's cool and shit. But this group is good, and we know they're good. But like this is just a breath of fresh air.
It is, dude. It's so like I'm sitting here. I'm pretty sure I got like a little tear in my eye, dude. When I tell you that I laughed so hard at the idea of just because when they announced it, it was such a serious announcement. They were like, "Oh yeah, Truth is going to be, he's going to have this interview going on. It's going to be a sit down special moment, blah, blah, blah." So I'm thinking we're about to have this serious discussion. And that was not the case whatsoever. He's a baby being held up by a doctor. They got the North Carolina sign. He's talking about Tom and Nick. I'm like, bro, what is going on? And I need comedy in wrestling.
I need it, man.
I need it. I do not want my wrestling to be so serious 24/7 because I got my serious stories. You know what I'm saying? And those are great. I love watching wrestling for those. But I've been conditioned by the WWE, by the way, who growing up a longtime fan, that I can have comedy in my wrestling due to the, what is it? entertainment side.
Yeah. It's the thing is it has its place. I do want R-Truth to have one serious run
So
towards
do
the end of
I.
his career.
So
Just
do I.
one serious run. And it's tough because this guy is like it's always the dumb shit. Like when R-Truth was holding the 24/7 championship, it's so dumb when he's like, I'm the 24/7 European 7-Eleven hardcore
Yeah. Uh-huh.
WWE, blah 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 blah. Like it's just like sometimes it's just fun, bro. It's okay to sit down, and this is my thing to wrestling fans. It's okay to sit down and just laugh a little bit.
Yeah. Not
And
everything's so serious.
it makes the Judgment Day even better. Like the Judgment Day has been awesome as a faction, and I love them. And when they added JD McDonough and they were telling the story of JD McDonough joining, I loved it,
Yeah.
But then you start to see like kind of repetition in terms of the tag team matches and stuff like that. And obviously I
Yeah.
understand why they do it, but it's almost like this gave the Judgment Day a, a little bit of a different path towards WrestleMania. And does this actually lead to a serious run with the Miz and R-Truth? It could.
It
And
easily could.
I would actually be okay with that too. The thing is,
Let them go get a tag team title run.
and by the way, I don't think that should ever take precedence over DIY or the Creed
No, no,
brothers
no, no, no. But
but
give them a run.
yeah, just something small. I mean, it would be a nice little thank you to R-Truth for fucking entertaining the shit out of us. But
Right, and being one of the greatest to I don't care what nobody says. Yes, truth when it comes down to pure what's the word that I'm looking for? Longevity
yeah,
is one of the greatest of all time.
100%.
So, I want to switch gears a little bit and I want to talk about I also wanted to talk about Kofi and Ludwig Kaiser and what happened last night on Raw. If you guys are not aware, Kofi, I thought was no longer with us. I'm being so serious. Whatever they're doing with Ludwig Kaiser in the WWE right now, they're making him look very strong. After last night, it looked like he was really, really upset at what they did, what Kofi did to Giovanni Vinci. It looked as if, like, you just took my brother from me, and now you got to pay the repercussions of that. That's what it did for me. So, if I'm being honest, and what I think is potentially going to happen in this, what's this word that I'm looking for? In this long-term storytelling, I believe that we're eventually going to see Ludwig versus Gunther, and I think it's going to be on one of the greatest terms of all time. And I do believe that there is a chance that Ludwig Kaiser could take the Intercontinental Championship away from Gunther. Would that be crazy to say? Would I be so out of pocket for saying that this is something that could possibly happen? Because Ludwig, we've talked about who's going to take this belt off of Gunther for the longest time, and a lot of people said Chad Gable. There were other names that popped up, but looking at it and looking at the seriousness of Ludwig Kaiser, imagine you have this boss and your boss is beating you down so much, but one day it's the easiest story to tell in the book. Gunther's his boss. He's getting beat down by his boss, and then finally he stands up to the boss. Hey, this is what it's going to be. This is where I'm at. I'm going to take you. I'm going to beat you. And that long run that you've had, it's mine now. I think it would be a great storyline. I think it would be something that could work. And after last night, seeing what he did to Kofi Kingston, seeing how just devastating and like when the crowd like stopped because a lot of people were so upset with like the double count out finish. Take that away from that. That was one of the best book segments of the night. If you take the double count out away and you forget that and just let the segment be what it was, that was, I'd say the second best segment of the night because of how it just took the energy out of the crowd. And that's how a heel works. That's how a heel gets over is when you can take and pull at these people's heartstrings and And you know for a fact that when you are pulling at heartstrings, you're messing with somebody's emotions. That's how you build a heel in my mind. So yeah, Ludwig Kaiser is definitely somebody who I see with some of the most potential to go out and beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And truth be told, a perfect place for that to happen, Bash at Berlin. I don't think there's any better spot for that to happen. I know the other day we had, something that we had talked about with Chad Gable and stuff like that. And I had said that I don't think there's anybody and he should just relinquish it.
Yeah.
Right. Gunther should not relinquish that title. Now, looking at what happened last night, Gunther needs to lose that title to Ludwig Kaiser.
Billy changing his mind, and it's okay. That's good.
It is okay. And I want to be the guy here to tell people it is okay to change your mind.
First of all, I agree with everything you just said about Ludwig Kaiser. I put out the tweet too. I never liked double countouts, but this is the second time off the top of my head that I recall Triple H doing something with the double countout. Yeah. He did it with Ivar and Bronson Reed, and then that carried over into NXT and stuff.
Right.
This was one of those scenarios where in the span of 30 to 45 seconds, they completely sold me on Ludwig Kaiser being a solo guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you remember? I feel like we talked about it before, but do you remember that episode when they aired a singles vignette for Ludwig Kaiser, and then they also did one for Giovanni Vinci?
Yeah.
They did that with Ludwig Kaiser, and that was like, oh, that's interesting. I could see it. They have the presentation down. But watching what he did to Kofi after pretty much signified to me that, hey, he can do it. And I actually want them to do it now. They sold me on it. But it's interesting because I will tell you, Billy, you got Gunther, Ilya Dragunov, Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Vinci. You got all of this international talent in WWE and NXT, and I just start to think, money. Money.
A lot of it. I mean, look at the Bash at Berlin. That's a perfect example of WWE using money to their power, right? Hey, we're going here, and guess who's going to headline that show? You know who. I know who. Gunther. Gunther's headlining that show.
Remind me, because we just talked about it the other day and I'm forgetting. It's at the end of August?
It's August 31st. So who needs to take on Cody? And then now we have another story.
You could do a lot. You could always do, if you get the belt on Drew McIntyre, you can always have Gunther beat Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Would be cool too, because obviously they're still in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can have Cody lose the WWE Championship to Gunther.
Yeah. You can also have him fight for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, you could do either or.
Yeah. Although I still am a firm believer that LA Knight is eventually going to win that belt here soon. That World Heavyweight Championship.
The biggest problem that we have in WWE right now is there's a lot of credible people that could be a world champion, and that is insane.
I just still think that the guy right now is LA Knight.
Yeah. I wanted to read this right here. King Jack said, my girl was worried that Kofi was legit hurt. And I just kind of wanted to point this out that they did a really good job. And then when when Ludwig Kaiser was backstage with Jackie Redmond, he did the interview and he's like, Kofi took out Giovanni Vinci's head. So I did the same. And just the intensity and stuff like that.
You sell the intensity.
This guy is so good. So good. It's hard whenever I think of tag teams breaking up and stuff like that because WWE is rebuilding the tag team division. But I think Giovanni Vinci would be great as a singles guy. I have no problem with him being a singles guy. But Ludwig Kaiser, to me, it's like, I'm not saying he's on the same level as Gunther. Actually, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
think they presented him as a big badass.
Dude, like when you're standing above somebody, right?
Yeah.
Chin up, beef caked up, right? He's skinny too. He's toned. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So when he's standing, beef caked up like this, serious face and all, looking down on, like I said a minute ago, the man, no, he looked like he was no longer with us.
Yeah.
And you're just looking over him like this, and you got this crazy, sold me instantly. That's your guy. That's your guy right there.
100%, dude.
Yeah. No, overall, though, I definitely thought it was a good Raw. I thought last night was fun. And I think we have some things with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk that are going to brew. I know you had some differences. I stand firm that there is a chance that my cooking could be correct. I'm not saying it could be wrong, but it could be correct. We will see as time goes on. But that's what I'm going to say to that. But overall, a good Raw, man.
That's what makes wrestling fun, though.
Yeah.
Listen, if Drew McIntyre shows up and spoils WrestleMania Night 1, I'm going to look like a genius, right? But it's not even so much looking like a genius if I'm right or wrong or whatever it may be.
Right. It's the fun of it.
It's the fun of knowing that right now, WWE, sometimes it looks like it's predictable, and then you get shocked and you don't know what's actually going to happen. And I think that is fun. I think it is fun to see that right now we're at a stage in wrestling where so many different scenarios could come into play. And genuinely speaking, just because I disagree with you, just so you're aware, Billy, it doesn't mean I think it's bad, which is like kind of like the good thing. Like, it's not like back in the day, which not even really back in the day, but a few years ago where it was like, this is the only way you could do it and that's it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. The only thing that could be wrong is what I said earlier about Cody not finishing the story. That's wrong. I don't care.
Yeah, that is off. That is off. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm going to say. I do believe that Cody has to finish that story. No, I don't even believe it. No, he has to. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
And to all the people saying that Rock and Roman need to happen at WrestleMania, you're going to find out on April 7th exactly how that's going to go down. I don't think Triple H is a buffoon. I think you're going to get Rock and Roman at the Chamber, and you're going to get Cody and Roman night 2.
Justin Kennington, $2 super chat. Justin says Cody versus Gunther, winner takes all at Bash at Berlin. And Justin, I'm gonna be honest, Justin. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Gunther holds the IC title that long.
Not after watching last night.
Whether it's Chad Gable, Ludwig Kaiser, somebody gets called up, Ilya Dragunov.
Oh, Ilya's still a good one. That's money.
There's a lot that could be done. So I'm curious, but who knows? You never know.
Sure.
I do think I think Triple H knew what he was doing last year at the Rumble with Cody and Gunther.
I will say that I think you have a good story because Cody loved the Intercontinental Championship, and he's always kind of told that story of the Intercontinental Championship. So I think if you want to do that, it's not a bad idea.
The only problem that I have with a winner takes all scenario is that Roman had the Universal Championship and then the WWE Championship. He was holding 2 belts captive, and then they obviously had to, unify them.
You're right.
But that's my only problem is I want, like Anthony Oderwald just said, like Jey Uso for the IC title. Like, I'm not even opposed to that, Yeah. If you have, the thing is, you just got to free up the belts. Now, what could be interesting is after WrestleMania, Jimmy and Jey Uso, do they continue the solos run? Right? Like, do they continue to go singles career? Because Jey Uso, if you really, really want, you could actually have Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes feud eventually down the line, and there would be some history and some reason for it happening, especially with Cody being the reason why Jey Uso's on Raw. Jey Uso could always turn heel, whatever. I mean, I'm just saying there's a million things that they could do. We got to remember Bash at Berlin is literally 8 months from now, and it's several months after WrestleMania. So there's a lot of things that could be done, but that would be very cool to see. Cody and Gunther for sure is a match I would love to see.
Yep.
And I personally would just hope that it's not winner takes all. And I would hope Gunther's not champion by that point in time, because I just don't want to see 2 belts being captive.
Right.
And you do have to explain why Cody loses 1 belt and not the other.
The other, right. Exactly. You have to explain the loss. But Other than that, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling
Me
great.
too.
I'm
Wrestling's
feeling
good.
good. Wrestling's good.
Denisha Lane extending her membership for 11 months. I'm a fan, and it's been amazing. Denisha, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Awesome. Amazing.
Guys,
Love the good people in the comments section.
lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff in wrestling. Billy,
Yeah, and go.
NXT is tonight at 8:00 Eastern. I know you're not going to be able to make it tonight for the live stream.
Sadly, I will not be able to make it for the live stream. If I can find a way, I will, but cannot guarantee.
But I did want to ask you, since we're waiting.
Bring it on.
There's another super chat we'll get to in a second, but let's bring this up for a second. NXT tonight, Dusty Road Classic.
Yes.
Dusty Cup.
Yep.
Just out of curiosity, because we were talking about random factions, random groups.
Uh-huh.
Baron Corbin is a name that popped up in my mind when I was thinking of NXT. He's going to be tag teaming with Braun Breaker. Just a random thought. Don't want to spend too much time on this.
Yeah.
Shinsuke, Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal. You with it or not?
Yeah, I'm with it, bro, because the reason why I'm with it is they've already told me that Baron Corbin, when he is upset, gets very upset and loses everything.
He's lost everything.
Yeah, I'm with that. Count me in, coach.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we got a super chat from Bernie One AC. Who closes 2024 with the titles? Billy, make your bold prediction.
Oh, who closes 2024? So the World Heavyweight Championship. LA Knight.
Oh shit, this is hard. This is actually not easy.
Yeah, no, this is actually okay. So by the way, this is a very good question. I'm saying LA Knight for the World Heavyweight Championship.
All right, let me write these down as you say it. Guys, really quick, get your super chats in before we get off the air, because we're just addressing the final super chats right now. But the question is, who closes 2024 with the titles? Billy says for the World Heavyweight, he says LA Knight.
I'm saying LA Knight.
We're gonna write them down across the board. Well, let's exclude NXT for the purpose of time.
Yes, right.
But Raw and SmackDown.
So right now, I'm gonna say LA for the World Heavyweight Championship. For the WWE Championship. Ooh man. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, a lot of potential that it could be. I'm sticking Cody Rhodes because you do the Randy Orton match, WrestleMania 41. I'm calling it Cody Rhodes. That's what it is. I'm sticking with my guns. And go write that down. Cody Rhodes till 41. Maybe even a little bit longer, because you get the idea of Randy Orton.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to do that. Are we doing US title everything?
Yeah, and tag titles, yeah.
Okay. All right. Tag titles. SmackDown Authors of Pain. Because I do believe that they're going to split the titles.
Okay.
So I'm going to go based off the idea that they're splitting.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Raw. DIY.
Okay.
Intercontinental Championship. Give me Ludwig.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, give me Ludwig. United States Championship. This is where it gets a little bit tricky for me. Give me Grayson Waller.
Okay.
Give me Grayson Waller.
And then women's tag.
Women's
titles.
Women's tag. I think Kate and Katana, just because off the mere fact that we're still booking a lot of these tag teams, and I don't think there's any actual legitimate tag team. Maybe the Kabuki Warriors.
Okay.
I'll say Kabuki Warriors.
Okay.
Women's World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Becky.
Okay.
Women's WWE Championship. Bold prediction. Give me Bayley.
Okay. So we're going to recap, and then I'll give you guys my picks. Billy said for the World Heavyweight Championship, he believes in 2024, LA Knight will be the World Heavyweight Champion. WWE Championship, he says Cody Rhodes until WrestleMania 41. So he's going into 2025 with that one.
Yeah.
Very interesting. U.S. Champion Grayson Waller, Ludwig Kaiser for the Intercontinental Championship, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship belts, which we're predicting that the titles will split. They're not going to be called the SmackDown and Raw tag titles, but
We're just yes, that they will split.
Yes. So whatever tag titles are on SmackDown, he predicts AOP. Whatever tag titles are on Raw, he predicts DIY. For the women's tag titles, he says Kabuki Warriors, Becky Lynch winning the World Heavyweight or Raw Women's World WWE Championship or whatever they're calling it for Raw, Becky Lynch, and the Women's WWE Championship is Bayley. Very solid picks. Billy, I disagree in a couple of areas.
That's okay.
World,
that's okay. Yeah. That's the point of this.
That's why I'm super excited that I have some different opinions from you, because this is also going to be another segment that we look back at 2024 and be like, damn, bro, were we right?
Yeah.
And this will be fun. This will be fun. So World Heavyweight Championship for me is it's actually pretty clear. It's going to be Drew McIntyre. Just hear me out. Hear me out. WWE Championship by the end of the year will be Randy Orton. Now, the reason why I say this is because I predict that Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton will trade the title back and forth for a bit. It's going to be like Rock and Stone Cold, baby. It's going to be fire. Oh my God. Okay. It's going to be heat.
That's fair. That's fair.
United States Championship, I predict, will be LA Knight, and that belt will be moved to Raw within the draft.
Okay.
So that remains consistent with what I said in our previous stream.
Yep.
The Intercontinental Championship is one that excites me because I don't think there is literally a bad prediction here whatsoever. I think Ludwig Kaiser, I very much agree it could be Ludwig Kaiser.
But there's so many names.
I predict Bronson Reed will be on SmackDown with the Intercontinental Championship to close out the year.
Okay.
For the tag titles on SmackDown, and keep in mind, guys, this is just based on kind of how the rosters are now or whatever. But the tag titles on SmackDown, I don't think it's going to be AOP. I'm going to make the big prediction that it's going to be Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates. Now, here's the thing. With the tag titles, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you have the OC, you have Pretty Deadly, you have stuff like that.
Teams.
There's a lot of tag teams. I think we're going to see new champions a couple times throughout the year. Mm-hmm. But Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, I think, will be geared towards a big run, especially with WWE doing like UK tours and they're doing the European pay-per-views. I expect tag titles to be in the hands of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. For the Raw Tag Team Championships, I do agree with you that DIY will win them. But unfortunately, they're not going to end 2024.
Who's ending 2024? Because I had a prediction who I think should win them now.
And then later be DIY? Because ours might be reversed.
Yes, because I had them winning now and then DIY closing the year.
It's the Creed brothers.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be DIY first and then the Creed brothers end the year.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's a fair assumption.
I love this. I love this. Women's tag team champions, I did agree 100% Kabuki Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to see, though, that this division continues to be highlighted. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are actually getting reactions now, which is...
They are. And they're doing a really... So you could tell that they're putting more emphasis because I remember there was a time where this wasn't even like super important. Yeah. They're making it feel important. Cool.
It's not 100% there, but it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I do think Kabuki Warriors will bring it back and be on a good reign. But I'll give you guys a 2025 prediction. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
no
right.
prediction for 2025. 2024. All right. The Raw World Championship to end the year. It's tough because I think Rhea Ripley and Becky. I do see Becky winning the belt from Rhea Ripley.
So do I.
However, I'm going to make a very big prediction. And unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to be a popular one. Nia Jax. I predict that she will end up holding the belt to end the year. they already planted the seed a little bit with Becky and Rhea Ripley and Becky and Nia Jax, obviously. I think they will revisit Nia Jax and Becky Lynch and
I don't
Nia
hate it.
Jax. I don't hate Nia Jax. I think she's been a lot more improved since coming back, a lot more improved.
Yeah.
I just know this is not the popular opinion. I will say what makes this really fun is we don't know what the end of the year will look
No.
like. Unfortunately, people could be leaving the company. There could be new signings. There could be injuries.
A lot
So,
of things can happen.
yeah, obviously a lot. But I think Nia Jax ends the year as champion.
Yeah.
And then for the SmackDown Women's Champion, I'm gonna go very bold with this. My girl Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I knew that was
She's
coming. I
she
knew that was coming.
I think it's very realistic. And just so you know, I really love Billy's prediction of Bailey because of how great this damage control storyline
That's
is.
what it is too. It's playing into the storyline of Damage Control.
I love it. This is gonna be fun to look back on.
Yes.
And then the only other thing I want to say, because that concludes my list. Right?
Yeah.
Did I forget one?
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
IC title. Did I say IC title? No,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Raw tag, women's tag, SmackDown tag. Yeah. I
Yeah.
hit
You
all of
got
them.
everything. Yeah. You hit the US champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's recap. Billy, first of all, Burning One AC, thank you for the super chat. To answer your question in a much more organized way. For World Heavyweight Champion, Billy predicts LA Knight will end the year as champion. I believe it's going to be Drew McIntyre. WWE Championship, he says Cody Rhodes will hold it until WrestleMania 41. I say Randy Orton's going to end the year as champion.
That's fair.
For the U.S. title, Billy says Grayson Waller. I say LA Knight, who will be bringing that belt to Raw. Both are pretty realistic, by the way. Intercontinental Championship, he says Ludwig Kaiser. I say Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed would bring it to SmackDown as part of my prediction.
Yeah, with the draft.
SmackDown Tag Team Championship belts. I say Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. He says AOP. I think both are also pretty realistic on that.
Yeah.
For the Raw tag titles, I say Creed Brothers. Billy says DIY. Ours was reversed.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
Just so everybody knows, these are reversed. I could definitely see the Creed brothers closing out the year with them.
Yeah.
I think looking at it, it makes sense, but I genuinely do believe DIY.
That's fun. We both agree Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag titles. Raw World Championship, I say Nia Jax. He says Becky. SmackDown Women's Champion, he says Bailey. I say Jade.
I do love the Jade. I love the Jade thing. But I stand with Bailey.
Love it. Love it. I think these are all pretty legit. Definitely cool to consider that. Like, we'll come back to this and see how right or wrong we are.
Yeah.
But most importantly, what I love about live streams like this is when we look back on it, I think all of our choices are pretty realistic, honestly. What I love most is to see how different WWE thinks than us, because we could be either spot on or WWE could be completely swerving and be like,
completely throw us off. It could be Sami Zayn at the end of the day.
yeah,
You know, it could be anybody.
I do want to throw that out there as a notable mention. I don't think he ends the year as champion, but Sami Zayn would be a great World Heavyweight Champion at some point too.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's fair that he gets that opportunity at some point.
Yeah. Justin Kennington dropped a $2 super chat. He says Cody WWE title, Gunther World Heavyweight title.
Not
I like
bad.
both options.
Yeah,
I like both
bad.
options. I like both options. This is tough.
Yeah, it's not horrible. I don't hate it.
This is probably the hardest thing to fantasy book, just because of how many people legitimately could be a champion right now for WWE.
Yeah, because it's crazy. I mean, that's what good booking will do for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Justin, for the super chat. Tony Brown dropping $1.99. He says, Ango, how about United States tag team belts? I think the NWA does that, and I'm not a fan of like multiple tag team championships. We just need the belts split.
Right.
I think it's going to be the WWE World Tag Team Championships on Raw. SmackDown will just be the WWE Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
History repeating itself. I think, what's actually a really cool thing too. We didn't mention the Street Profits.
No, we didn't, and they're doing really good right now.
There's a lot of people that could be tag team champions. What I like about our predictions, though, is when you look at the calendar year and the pay-per-views that come with it and stuff like that, I think it could be actually a really fun thing to see.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it could be a really fun thing to see certain people winning belts and then not necessarily having a 2-year reign. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
I
like,
do believe we're gonna go into like a really good time of pro wrestling. Kind of when I think back like 2009, that era of being able to kind of, tell good stories, flip flop titles. I do believe we're gonna go into that.
yeah. Thank you, Tony Brown, for the super chat. Appreciate you. We got another one from Saint Myris for $1.99. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who enters 28, 29, and 30? Billy, go.
Mm, 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 mm. Give me Drew 28.
Ooh.
Give me Drew 28.
Okay.
Give me like a Bronson Reed 29. That's
Okay.
just a random name.
Yeah.
Give me MJF 30. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
Guys, do you hear this, man?
No, in all seriousness, you want to sell the idea of Punk being a heel? Give me Punk at 30.
So very much like Cody coming in at 30 and winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't hate this. My pick. Wait, since you say Punk is coming in at 30,
Yeah.
Drew's coming in at number 1.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. What?
Okay.
Okay.
So 28, I'll explain that in a second because now I have to explain it because it's actually a good theory.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think it's a good theory. But 28, I would say R-Truth. 29, Damian Priest.
Don't hate it.
30, CM Punk. Let me just kind of explain for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to.
We're laughing a lot about the Judgment Day and R-Truth and Damian Priest.
Right.
These guys don't necessarily have to be the final 4.
No.
No, but it would be cool if R-Truth and Damian Priest enter back to back. It doesn't even have to be Damian Priest. I mean, technically, it could be Finn Balor, like JD McDonough, somebody from the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But it would be really funny with R-Truth getting a massive elimination at the Royal Rumble, and it happens to be one of the guys from the Judgment Day because he's part of the Judgment Day.
Right. Exactly.
It's just me being funny and shits and giggles. But CM Punk 100% comes in at number 30. I think that would be the right way. Now, I want to point this out, though. Let me put this up here. Okay. So, do you guys remember my theory that I said earlier about Drew McIntyre ending WrestleMania? If you're coming in here now and you may have missed it, long story short, my prediction is that WWE is going to have Drew McIntyre take some time off. They might play into the fact that we don't really know what's going on with his contract status, stuff like that. My prediction is that Drew McIntyre is going to spoil WrestleMania Night 1. CM Punk will beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania Night 1 in the main event. Drew McIntyre is going to hit CM Punk with a Claymore, and there could be a cash-in or whatever to end the night, however they want to do it. I don't know. I don't care. But long story short, Drew McIntyre makes everybody very unhappy when he goes after CM Punk. They planted the seed last night on Raw. Basically, the idea is they did that for a reason. Drew not having everything handed to him. CM Punk, everything's been handed to him. So CM Punk comes in at number 30 in the Royal Rumble. He got lucky. Drew McIntyre comes in at number 1, and he makes it to the final 4, and he gets screwed. And that's essentially the reason why he goes to WrestleMania 40 and attacks CM Punk at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is Drew McIntyre could take some time off.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre could go visit family, stuff like that. And if you start playing with this idea that maybe Drew McIntyre isn't going to be in the WWE and all of a sudden he shows up at WrestleMania Night 1 and screws over CM Punk, I think there's a lot of legitimacy behind that theory. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like that.
Saint, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate it. We did get a couple more. So let's just read those. Guys, get them in before we go off the air. Billy's also live on his channel. We're doing a live simulcast. So if you guys want to super chat to Billy on his channel, he should have them set up.
Yeah, they are.
First time doing a simulcast, so it's kind of fun.
Definitely cool, man.
We did get a where is it at? New member, Michael Bakarian. Thank you for becoming a member. I am not Avery. Okay, Billy, I want you to read this one out, and I want you to read it in the way it's supposed to be read. I think you know what I'm talking about when you read it, but let's just see if you can knock it out.
It says, Bailey, way too soon for Jade. I love Jade, though. Did I hit it? Did I hit it? Was that right?
You hit it. You hit it.
All right,
guys. He did it. I just wanted to see if you knew what we were talking about, because obviously it's become a thing. This is obviously in regards to our list about people ending the night or ending the year as champion.
Yep.
I am not Avery. First of all, thank you for your super chat. I am not Avery seems to agree with Billy that Bailey ends the year as SmackDown Women's Champion. I want to ask you, Billy.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get into this nitty gritty specifics and stuff like that.
No.
Bailey, babyface or heel?
Babyface. Yeah, babyface for sure. I think everything going on with Damage Control just kind of tells me exactly how this is going to play out.
Okay.
And EO needs a prominent opponent.
Yeah.
And this is taking away from the idea of Sasha showing up or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because obviously Sasha hasn't landed anywhere yet. Taking away that, Bailey is, and I think whether she shows up in the WWE or not, I think Bailey still.
You know what I like about your Bailey theory? Especially when you say babyface?
Yeah.
Depending on how soon WWE would call up Julia, Bailey would be the perfect opponent for Julia
100%.
Like a good veteran that's like popular,
right?
Like that type of
and
thing.
We'll be able to put Julia's face over pretty much.
Yeah. I honestly, I love the Jade Cargill prediction that I have, and I'm not going to change my answer. But I really love you guys saying Bailey like that. It actually, like, I could probably make more arguments why it should be Bailey than Jade Cargill.
Right.
But to close out the year,
I mean, there's no better face than Jade Cargill.
You know what's interesting? It's January. Some of these things that we're like predicting, I feel like they could happen, but it might not close out the year.
No, like I could see Bailey winning at WrestleMania.
I could see them going that route.
Yeah, which is wild to think of, but the more I sit and think of it, the more I'm like, yeah, they can do that at WrestleMania if they want to.
Crazy. So legit.
Absolutely.
I am not Avery. Thank you for the super chat. And then our final super chat that it looks like we got, Darth Bane, $1.99. Would love to see Truth get a world title run. Billy, don't lie. Yes or no? The floor is yours.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
The reason why you give R-Truth a title run is you give him a thanks, right? If you just maybe not a world title, maybe just the United States or the Intercontinental, kind of what you did with Zack Ryder back at WrestleMania 32. Just give him a thanks, give him the moment, because if there's anybody on this earth that deserves it in the WWE, it's R-Truth. He has done so much for that company, has put them on the map numerous times, has traveled for them, done press for them. Give him a run. He's the guy.
He's so awesome.
He is.
Unfortunately, I have to disagree.
Okay.
But let's just say your theory is right.
Mm-hmm.
Your idea. Let's just say it happens, right? I wouldn't be against it. It sucks because the timing of it all won't work in this case. Yeah. I don't think they can make it work in this case, but I would never be opposed to R-Truth. God, people might hate me for this. I would never be opposed to R-Truth winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and literally Damian Priest is the one who cashes in on him. Just because of the whole Judgment Day thing, man. It's been so good.
I mean, that's if you're going to go a heel route, because that would give Damian Priest the ultimate heat.
Oh. It would be so fire. I don't know. I don't think it would work out with timing, because the whole thing
with the stories that are going on and stuff like that. And who knows when Truth is ready to even hang it up and call it a day and pack away. You know,
I can tell you guys, this guy does not age at all. Let me see how old he is.
He's 51.
Is he R-Truth
he's
age?
51.
51 years old.
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't age. He could wrestle like he's like 19.
Yep.
I swear, man. I swear to God, I would never be opposed to this. I honestly would genuinely not. I don't know, man. I would never. I would never be opposed to it. It's just how
No,
do they
it's
do it?
not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me throw this theory at you.
Okay.
St. Myra says, "What if R-Truth stole Damien's
I was
briefcase?"
gonna tell you to bring this up because that would be hilarious. That would be great. That's good storytelling.
You
What if he
remember?
just went and cashed it in on like some random title?
Do you remember when R-Truth smoked a cigarette on
Yeah.
TV?
Yeah.
You know, R-Truth was a freaking G, bro. But now he makes me laugh, and he's like, I swear, bro, I get a little giddy inside. I'm watching R-Truth and the way he interacts with these people and
Dude,
stuff.
he's amazing.
Timing is everything. Unfortunately, I don't think the timing would work, but this guy's definitely a Hall of Famer for sure.
Oh, 100%.
And Billy's idea of saying, "Hey, like this is a thank you," you give it to him.
Yeah.
I would never be opposed to that. I don't know how they make that work, but
I mean, again, you could do it as simple as something like what we discussed earlier. Let him and Miz have a run with the tag titles. You know,
what if they're the ones to beat Judgment Day?
that would be awesome, actually. Get it? You see my pun there?
Awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, to be truthful, it would be awesome.
Jeez.
All right, y'all.
All right, man.
All right. I see, you guys make me mess around too much. This is a serious wrestling talk show.
Right. We are not allowed to have fun. No fun here.
A lot of fun theories. I thought Raw was good last night.
So do I.
TNA Hard to Kill is Saturday. I seen some people ask us in the chat if we're going to be live. I know 100%, 1,000,000%, without a doubt, I will be live following TNA Hard to Kill. Billy, you're going to be here. Cool.
We'll be here.
It's going to be fun. TNA Hard to Kill should be a freaking excellent pay-per-view. Some big things happening there. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Billy, make sure you subscribe to Billy. If you can't see it, his YouTube channel is right here on the bottom left corner, youtube.com /@BillyTKO.
I appreciate all you guys. All you guys
and
are awesome.
Yeah, man, this is cool, man. A lot of good things happening in wrestling. I cannot wait to revisit this stream. This is going to be one to revisit for sure.
We're going to have to remember this.
A lot of interesting theories, but we'll see what goes down. So thank you, everybody, for subscribing, everybody who has come through and joined us today, everybody who has visited Billy's channel as well. What a time to be a wrestling fan. Billy won't be able to make it tonight for NXT. I will see potentially if I can make it tonight. Not 100% for certain, but I know for a fact I'll be live tomorrow. Yep. And I know I'll be live for Hard to Kill as well, and SmackDown and stuff like that too. So we'll figure it out. But otherwise, thank you everybody for joining us. We will see you next time.